Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little different than normal. I usually cook a soup or something from up home, but just being done hunting season, I'm done because I don't do that winter freeze your butt off kind of hunting. I was up and we got our venison, and me and my brother-in-law, we made sausage, and I usually buy my breakfast sausage and maple breakfast sausage seasonings from a place in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. But I always use that same seasoning, and I see all kinds of videos where people are using a bunch of other things and they love them. So today's video, I went and purchased the most common ones that I found on Amazon. So I have 6 different flavors, and I'm going to grind up 2 pounds of pork butt for each pack and see which one I think tastes like the breakfast sausage that, and I use this as key because everybody is used to eating Bob Evans, and that's what I'm going to see which one tastes closest to that, or just has a really good flavor from what I'm used to eating. But these are, like I said, the ones commonly bought on Amazon, and I have them ranked price per pound, which one's the cheapest, which one's the most expensive. And yes, there is one that's really expensive, and for the cost and for what you get out of it. So I'm hoping that one is like the best, but we shall see. Okay, let's get on. Okay, guys, I have these ranked here from cheapest, and this is cheapest per pound to the most expensive. So the first one here is legs, blend number 10. This little packet here, 8 ounces, makes 25 pounds. Then the next one is the sausage maker. Again, these are all breakfast sausages. This bag right here makes 50 pounds. And it's a 1 pound, 8 ounce bag. This one right here makes 25 pounds. Malcolm's here. And this one here says, let's see, it just gives a 1 tablespoon per pound. So I have to look that up. I'm thinking it's 25 pounds as well because it's only a pound bag. So I have to look that one up. But then we got the High Mountain here. And this one makes 24 pounds. And we got this little pack here of iron skillet. And this little pack right here makes 4 pounds. That's correct. 4 pounds. And this is the most expensive one. So I want to see, hopefully that one, like I said, blows my socks off. But we're going to make each one of these and see how everything turns out. Okay. Sorry about the sun coming in here and blaring and everything, but this is pork butt right here. There's 3 pounds in each bag. I'm going to grind this down to make 6 pounds. There's my grinder. I had this in the freezer for a little bit so it gets stiff, because meat is way easier, and especially fatty meat. It won't smear and clog up the grinder as fast. So I'm going to get this ground down. I have a scale, so I will measure out 2 pounds for each one, and then we will start the mixing process. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is I got a scale right here. We are going to measure out 6 2-pound piles. And then once we get this measured out, then we're going to take and start mixing in our seasonings. Okay. One of the things that I'm going to do is I love sausage, period, but I like where it's in links. So I will be putting this, it says to set, most of these all say set for mix together and let set for 24 hours before you cook it. And I'm going to follow the instructions like that on all these packets here. I understand it will be a little different because this is not deer meat mixed or any kind of wild game mixed with pork, but it will give you, or give me, an idea of which one is the better, which is it worth the money, which one is the easier, and we'll go from there. Because, you know, any kind of venison or anything else is really lean, so you have to add pork or pork fat to it to get it to be where it's not falling apart and crumbly and dry. So this again is just to see if any of these are worth and better tasting than what I get now. It may be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to measure out the 2 pounds for each one of them, and then I'll mix them per what the packets say. Like this one right here says 1 tablespoon per pound. This one says 1 tablespoon per pound. They're pretty self-explanatory. The only one that's really giving me a hard time is the Malcolm's. Doesn't really say, and the one behind it, the iron skillet, says for the whole pack for 4 pounds, and that's all it has. So I'll have to break that in half. But I'm going to mix these, and then I am going to put a little bit to the side to make tomorrow, but the rest of it, while it's still in this state and not stiffened up from being in the refrigerator, I'm going to stuff into links later. And I use the fresh collagen casings instead of the natural ones. So I use the fresh collagen casings, and then I'll put those, stuff them, and I'll put those away so I can make them another day. All right, let me get this all measured out, and then we'll come back and start mixing. Okay, I've got this separated into 6 different pounds here, and I sort of messed up. I wanted to make 2 pounds each, which was 12. And this morning I wasn't thinking, I only made 6, so I'm going to just make 1 pound of each one of these. So I've already run into my first problem because some manufacturers don't have it simple. So I had to look online, because this is the legs right here, and this is for a 25-pound bag, and I'm making 1 pound, and I'd have to go through and divide everything up, and I was hoping it'd be like 1 tablespoon per pound, and they could break it down. So I went online, and I found it says here that it's 1 ounce of seasonings per 3 pounds of meat. And it says 2 tablespoons equals 1 ounce. So, according to this, since I'm only making 1 pound, I would have to take that 1 ounce, divide it by 3, and it basically comes out to, so 2 tablespoons. So it's a tablespoon and a half, tablespoon and a quarter. So we're going to put that in and see how it goes. Well, this smells good. Got some red pepper flake in there. All right, we're just going to put not quite a half tablespoon in there. All right, so then we'll get to mixing this up, and I'll save a little piece in the baggie so it can sit in the refrigerator overnight for 24 hours. The rest of this I'm going to put in a different container so I can take them out and stuff them in casings later today. Okay, so I've been mixing this now for about 10 minutes, and I added like 1/8 of a cup of water. You're supposed to add water to each one of these as you mix them. Then you'll get the protein extraction. You can always tell because it'll stick to everything. That's what we're trying to get. You see how it's all sticky, won't fall off. Anyway, on this one, after I thought about it, I'm like, that just didn't seem right when I did the math on that. And I'm sure there's people in there questioning me already. It's really, this one's going to be strong because it's really only supposed to be 0.666 of a tablespoon. So just over a half a tablespoon per 1 pound. So this one's going to be a little strong, but hey, I'll learn on the next one. If the package was a little easier to read, or they set it up like 1 teaspoon or something, they broke it down, that would be great. Because these other ones here, most of these other ones have it that it says right on there, 1 tablespoon per pound. It's very simple. A lot of us don't make big packs. I mean, your common person that's going to buy off Amazon is not making 25 pounds of sausage every time. So, you know, only the big manufacturers or restaurants are. So us normal people that just make small amounts, it would be great if they could have something better on the package. So I'm going to put this to the side and get it in the refrigerator so it can keep cooling. And then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so here's the second one I'm going to do. And this one's not as easy. A little bit, I mean, It's a little easier than the other one. But this is you got to go on, it says 1/2 ounce per pound. So I got my scale out here and got it in ounces. So we're going to measure out 1/2 ounce per pound. And then I'm going to put that into a tablespoon form and see what it comes out to be. So let me get this cut here, and then we'll measure out 1/2 ounce, and then I'll see how much of a tablespoon that is, so I can make it simpler for you if you decide to use this particular brand right here. Okay, so I filled up 1 tablespoon, put it in my cup. There's 1/2 ounce. So 1 tablespoon per pound. Okay, we'll get this dumped in here and put a little bit of water in there, and we'll get the mixing, and we'll put this one to the side after it's mixed up, and we'll continue with each one. All right, next on the list is Lem's Backwoods Breakfast. This one is very simple. It has the whole package back here, or per pound, which is 1 tablespoon per pound. It makes it really simple. 1 tablespoon. And then it says 1 ounce of water. Put 1 ounce of water in there. Now, one thing that's nice about some of these companies' bags is they have it where it's resealable. The first one there, the legs, it wasn't resealable, so I had to use a clothespin on there to keep it shut. But another thing, I'm looking at these because my brother-in-law, being from the north or anything like that, is not a big sage person. He likes just the regular breakfast sausage or the spicy, but not the sage. He doesn't like a lot of the sage. So that's why I didn't get any of these with this extra sage or sage breakfast, because, you know, I'm trying to find something, because when we do our venison and we add it all together and then we split it in half. And this year we made, you know, we had, I don't know, 80, 85 pounds, and we split, you know, half of that with maple and regular, and then we each split, so we each got like 40 some pounds, and then we had 20 some pounds each of the regular and maple. So I'm just trying to find something else here that we can make in smaller batches, or something that we can make during the year when we're not hunting. Let me get this mixed up and put it in the bag. Alrighty, so now we're going to do the Malcolms, and it says the same thing on the back. It's 1 tablespoon per pound. So makes it easy. This one smells like it got quite a bit of sage to it. So smells good, but need a little bit of water here. Smells good, but I was hoping to avoid ones with a lot of sage in it. But again, it's a test to see which one comes out the best for my taste. I know a lot of people like sage, and that's great. I like sage, but it's hard when you're making big batches to get all the machines cleaned up and everything cleaned up, so you can make a half batch instead of just mixing the whole thing. But if it's not, it might smell heavy, and later when you fry it up, you might hardly just get a hint of it, which would be just fine then at that point. But again, I avoided the ones that said sage breakfast sausage or had a high listing of sage in their ingredients. And these are the top ones bought and sold on Amazon. So now I see a lot of people, and I could have done this, is they have their mixer that they could have put this in the pole and let the mixer mix it for a couple minutes. I have a meat mixer I left at my deer camp where I hunt at. So today we're just doing it by hand. So again, we want it to be just sticky so it holds. Just get a little protein extraction. We don't want to overwork it. And that should be good enough. And I'll bag that one up and we'll continue on with the next one. Okay, now this is the High Mountain. Right here, High Mountain. Gives us a little nifty chart inside. So as small as it goes is 1.5 pounds. This is 1 tablespoon for 1.5 pounds. So I'm just gonna break it down to 2/3 of a tablespoon. We're close to that. And that's what we're gonna mix for this one. Better to be over than under. Okay, so now I'll have to put a clothespin on that one as well. And then we're gonna add a little bit of water. All right, and I'll get the mix in and we'll get this one bagged away, and then we'll be on to our last one. Okay, so here's the last one. And this is for a 4 pound pack. This whole pack is for 4 pounds. And it says on there, weight is 1.75 ounces. And I've already pulled up the calculator on it, and it's 0.43 of an ounce. Well, 0.44, so we'll go 0.44. So let's measure this out. And so we can get to 4 point, ooh. All right, there we go. And then we'll add our little bit of water. We'll get the mixing, and we'll put these away. And so I get this mixed up and put it in the refrigerator with all the rest of them. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll fire them up and see what we got. Okay guys, it's the next day. And I just got home from work, so it's a little late. You can see it's like 5 minutes till 6 over there. So I'm gonna make these for dinner, a little bit of each. There's all of them laid out. And I have them marked here. I'm gonna pull like a small ball off each one. I'm gonna cook it separately in my carbon steel pan so they don't get cross flavors going. I'll wipe it down between each cook, and then we'll put them on a plate and we're gonna try them. Okay guys, so got her all finished up. We're gonna test her out here, and as you can see, I use my cheap plate again, obviously foam, and I got them labeled around here which ones they are. They all browned out really nice. So I'm gonna test for how strong or mild it is, sage, not sage, if it's got any kind of kick to it with red pepper flake or anything like that. So the first one we're gonna try is a sausage maker. We'll give that a try. It's got a really good flavor, really mild, a little bit of sage. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good. Let's try the backwoods here. Wow, that one's got a little more pronounced sausage flavor. It's got just a little bit of spice on it. You can get it definitely at the aftertaste. It's got a really rich flavor. Not too much sage in that one either. And I say the sage part because my brother-in-law, he's not a big sage guy. So when we go out shooting our venison, we, try to get things without the heavy sage in it. All right, so this is the Malcolm's. This one reminds me of the frozen links you get that are already pre-cooked. That's exactly what that tastes like. Shoot, I forget the name of them. But they come, there's like 10 in a pack. They're frozen links. They don't have no skin or anything on them, no casings. That's exactly what that tastes like. Really good too. Okay, so this one here is the High Mountain. So it's a little bit different than this one. They taste pretty close, but this one here is just a little bit different. Doesn't have a little bit of heat behind it. Doesn't finish like that Malcolm's does, where you can really taste, like I said, those ones that are frozen and you eat those. It doesn't have that like little bit of aftertaste that you would get from the other ones. So it's a smooth taste to it. There's the legs. Now this one here, this is the one where I figured I did the calculations wrong on, so I'm figuring this one's gonna be a little strong. But I did see as I chopped this, red pepper flake come out of it. And there's only 1 or 2 of these that had red pepper flake in it when I was putting them together. Now, that one's really good as well. That tastes, now I know it's a little strong, but that tastes just like Bob Evans right there. That legs tastes just like a Bob Evans rolled sausage that you would get. I am really shocked by that. And here's the iron skillet. This is the last one. So that one there, that's different than all of them. That's got a really unique flavor to it. Yeah, that's mild. Wow, that's really good as well. I guess what it comes down to, this one got a little kick to it, that one got a little kick to it with the red pepper flake. I think the Malcolms also had the red pepper flake in them. The one I had said where it tastes like the frozen ones that come out, I don't think they're Bob Evans. I forget who would have those frozen ones. Realistically, I'd use any of these for venison sausage, but my top choice would be the legs and the Malcolms, and then as a third, the iron skillet. They were all really good. There was nothing really, like I said, there was some that were really mild, like these two over here were really mild, very good still. The rest of them, they had a couple little bit of pepper flake in them. There's nothing that was really sagey with the ones that I had gotten. So that was the whole point. But now it comes down, and you can look these numbers up yourself, it comes down to price. So the cheapest two that I found was the sausage maker, which is the big one over there, and that makes, it shows at the weight, it doesn't give you, it says ½ ounce per pound of seasoning, and it would come out to be 48 pounds, and that bag was $17.50. And so you divide that, I'm going to divide that in half, because the legs is for 25 pounds, which is that one right there, that tastes just like the Bob Evans, is $6.75 for 25 pounds. Now, the next two are, well, the next one here is the next cheapest one. It was 11 pounds. I'm sorry, 25 pounds, which was the Lem. The Lem was $11 for the 25 pound mix. And then it went to the High Mountain, which was for 24 pounds, $14. Now I'm rounding these all up. Now the most expensive one, again, was the iron skillet. Even though it has its own unique flavor, and that's maybe what you want, it was for a 4 pound package, a package that makes 4 pounds of sausage, is $9. So I will be trying all of these again with my brother-in-law, and we will be picking out the ones that we feel that would be the best that we eat. And again, from the Pennsylvania, we are like that little bit of spice, not a hard sausage flavor. It's just, you know, Bob Evans was always something we grew up on, and that's what we go off of. But any one of these, I would be happy to make at any time. My top three, though, is the legs, the Malcolms, and then the third place would be the iron skillet. And the iron skillet, if it was more in line as price-wise as the rest, I would probably buy that one. It'd be hard. Between these three, it's hard. Legs is taking the top, Malcolm's is second, and iron skillet, just for it being unique in its own flavor, is definitely a third spot. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, guys.